We have checked out the Volkswagen Tiguan a lot this year, from the S, SE to the SEL R-Line Turbo. But one trim that gets overlooked a lot right now is the SE R-Line Black. Sure, you get a two-toned exterior, get some gloss black bits, but there's a lot more to this vehicle than meets the eye. And in today's video, we're going to check out what the SE R-Line Black has to offer us. We're going to check out the exterior and the interior to see if it is the best value in the lineup for 2026. Now, before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout and thank you to Gervais Volkswagen here in Lowell, Massachusetts for letting come down here to check out the Volkswagen Tiguan SE R-Line Black. Their link will be in the description below, so you can check out their extensive Volkswagen inventory. So as always, let's begin with that pricing. For the 2026 Volkswagen Tiguan SE R-Line Black, you're looking at a starting cost of just over $37,000. However, if you want all-wheel drive, that will tack on $1,500 to that price tag, giving you a starting cost of just over $40,000. At $40,000, this could basically be a top trim, but thankfully we have the SEL R-Line Turbo giving us a lot more than what we're looking at right now with the SE, although I still think this is going to be a great value in the lineup. As we take a look at the exterior, we talked about this a lot in 2025, is that Volkswagen has rounded off the front and rear fascias, giving you an ID4-like design. However, with the SE R-Line Black, you are going to have a design that's very similar to the GTI and Golf R. So you're going to notice the gloss black trim here for that front grille, very aggressive, also pretty large here. And there will be side air curtains for better airflow and helping out with the overall aerodynamics and maybe even efficiency when you are on the highway. You are going to receive LED daytime running lights and LED headlights for better visibility at night or in adverse weather conditions. The only downside here with the SE R-Line Black, there's not going to be a light bar here entering into the Volkswagen emblem, and the emblem is not going to be illuminated. That is only available on the SE R-Line Turbo. So keep all of that in mind here out of this crossover. But one thing I do like here is that you receive a lot of gloss black trim and a two-tone look that really stands out here. The Stormtrooper appearance for this Tiguan, I think, is pretty striking. As you make your way over to the side profile, you don't have plastic cladding here around the wheel arches. This is going to be gloss black. I love the touch there. The black and white goes really well. With the SE R-Line Black, you are going to have 20-inch gloss black alloy wheels. I know exactly what you're thinking, though. 20-inch wheels on a crossover like this, ride quality is not going to be enjoyable. Well, don't have that thought here, because this is going to be built on the MQB Evo platform, providing a lot of rigidity, refinement, and also helping out with that road noise. 20-inch wheels are not going to be an issue here for the 2026 R-Line. Then also for the side profile, you're going to have gloss black side mirror caps with turn signal indicators to go along with blind spot detection for added safety. You have the R badge here, really nice. We saw that up front too. And then you have a gloss black roof here for this model. With the SE R-Line Black, you're going to receive new color options that really stands out on this generation, such as avocado green and sandstone. That, to me, is the way to go here for this model. Then as you make your way around to the back here for the final third of the Volkswagen Tiguan, there is a lot to discuss when it comes to the aesthetics. Because the more I look at this particular model, the more I see Golf R-inspired designs and body lines, such as with the rear fender. This isn't typically found on a crossover like this, so it really stands out in a class that is kind of cookie cutter and mundane. Now, since we have the two-tone look, the gloss black trim for the roofline really shows that it's no longer that boxy appearance that we had for the second generation. So there's some athleticism here to this vehicle. Also, the two-tone color makes this crossover look, in my opinion, very, very sinister. You got the LED taillights here, so full LED light setup for the exterior of this model, giving you an upscale and modern appearance. This light bar runs the length of the rear fascia into the Volkswagen emblem. Now, if you want to get an illuminated emblem, it's only available in the SEL R-Line Turbo. Now, there will be the Tiguan badge being written out on the liftgate. We see this a lot now in the automotive industry. Then for the lower portion of the rear bumper, here we have that grille design, so some continuity to the overall appearance for the Tiguan SE R-Line Black. Then lastly, you're going to have the exhaust outlets tucked beneath the bumper for that cleaner appearance. But all in all here, and I want to know what you guys think, with the Tiguan, with this particular trim and setup, this looks really good. I mean, it looks fantastic in this market. But I want to know what you guys think. Is this a bit too much for a crossover? This is a point A to point B vehicle, or has Volkswagen really knocked it out of the park for 2026? Powering the Volkswagen Tiguan SE R-Line Black is going to be a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, producing 201 horsepower and 221 pound-feet of torque if you go with all-wheel drive. It is going to be paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. Like we have seen throughout the last few times we have checked out the S and SE, this is going to be a fun daily driver. Unlike what we saw last generation, it's not big, it's not cumbersome, it's not slow or boring. It's actually somewhat athletic here with the MQB Evo platform, providing a lot of rigidity, a lot of refinement, and also, I think, a more playful driving experience out of this vehicle. Now, I will say though, the 8-speed automatic isn't the quickest when it comes to shifting that we have from Volkswagen, because the DSG out of the GTI and Golf R is much more exhilarating. But for a compact crossover here, it is most certainly competitive with other vehicles in its class. When it pertains to fuel economy, you're looking at right around 22 miles per gallon in the city and 30 miles per gallon on the highway. So not too bad here in this market, but there might be better if you are looking at buying a hybrid for 2026. Then hopping inside the R-Line Turbo, you're going to be greeted by heated leatherette seats for both the driver and passenger, with the driver's side having power adjustability, whereas the passenger will have to manually find their ideal seating position. A similar setup that we see a lot under $40,000 in this market. However, by going with the R-Line, you're going to notice these seats are very comfortable, they're supportive, and I think the bolstering is pretty aggressive here for a crossover that isn't necessarily sports tuned. Sure, it is an R-Line, so you're going to have the aggressive design, but you wouldn't really expect that for the interior, and yet Volkswagen has done that. If you're someone who enjoys driving, you like going on longer road trips, or maybe even taking on some canyon roads, these seats will keep you in place. So I think it's a great pairing for this particular trim. Now, the leatherette seats are available on the SE as well, so it does carry over. However, what doesn't carry over is this steering wheel. Very GTI inspired in my opinion, and you're going to have aggressive 10-2 and firm 9-3 grips. Now, why is this important? With the R-Line and with this particular generation Tiguan, Volkswagen has retuned the suspension and the platform, the MQB Evo platform, and as we discovered throughout this entire year, this crossover does handle pretty well. It's not going to be aggressive, it's not going to be like a lifted GTI, but you are going to have some confidence when you are heading into corners on a winding back road, and this steering wheel is going to be a great pairing for that. Also, you're going to notice you have a head-up display here. That is standard for the SE R-Line Black. So you want to keep your eyes on the road ahead of you, you can do so here with this trim. I think that's a nice touch for a crossover coming in under $40,000. Also, with this digital gauge cluster, it is intuitive. I like the resolution, I like the quality. And in my opinion, this embarrasses a lot of mainstream rivals in this class, from Subaru, from Toyota, from Honda, even Mazda too. And I think you're going to like this. It's actually a bit more Audi-like than what we see from Audi now out of the Q5. Then we got to talk about this 12.9-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. We also have a wireless phone charging pad as well found on the center console. As you guys know, I'm not a huge fan of this head unit at all, because you don't have physical buttons or dials for the dual zone climate control, AC, front rear defrosters, fan speed, or fan direction. It's stuff like that that I want to see some physical buttons. I want to see an analog layout, and we're not getting that here for the 2026 model. Now, if you are technologically inclined, you are going to love the layout of this screen. You're still going to have the widgets in place like you had for the older MIB software that we saw last generation, and from here you can access your telephone, radio media, vehicle, app connect, parking, settings, experience, off-road. It is all right here. You're also going to notice when you swipe to the left, here you have your climate menu and also IDA. What's IDA? That is your onboard assistant. We have seen this from German manufacturers in the past. To have this now in Volkswagen, VW is definitely moving forward here in the tech department. At the top of the screen will be quick access icons for your widgets, but also next to that will be your vehicle icon. And one thing I really like here is that you can customize this screen for your auto start stop, your head-up display, your lane assist, your trip, and then also you can add more widgets for your keyless access, hill descent control, your trip, head-up display, your wipers in service position. It's all right here. Next, that will be your auto start stop, then your telephone, and then lastly will be for your radio and then your volume settings. If you're someone who likes this, I think you're going to have a field day with this screen. You'll be spending 15-20 minutes getting used to everything here. But I think for a lot of you looking for less tech, out of your vehicle, Volkswagen is not going to be your choice in my opinion, at least in this market and class. Now, when you place the Tiguan in reverse, you are going to receive a rear backup camera with trajectory, also front and rear parking sensors to help you back out of tight spots or when you are parking on city streets. There will be a 180-degree view as well, giving you better visibility, but no top view, no side views. A lot of that is reserved for the SEL R-Line Turbo. For the center console itself, 2 cup holders, a small storage compartment for like loose change or a pen maybe. Then you're going to find a small button layout here for your engine start stop, and then a dial that controls your volume, but then also it doubles as your drive mode selector for eco, comfort, sport, custom, off-road, and snow. And then there's going to be atmospheres helping out with the ambient lighting. So if you want to set the mood inside this vehicle, you can do so. Then next that will be electronic parking brake. For the center storage compartment, it's going to be rather deep here for some wallets, smartphones, other tech gadgets. There'll be 2 USB-C inputs, and then like I said before, that wireless phone charging pad. And then when you lift up your center armrest, you have another storage compartment for a smaller smartphone. Then lastly, to round out the front seating area, above will be a panoramic moonroof, which brings in a lot of natural light to the interior, and that is standard here for the R-Line. Then for passengers in the second row, there's no surprises here. The leatherette seats are very comfortable. They're plush, just like we saw up front. You're also going to receive right around 40 inches of legroom, which would be in line with a Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, Kia Sportage. So very practical and spacious, also more importantly, family friendly. Now, I personally think there is enough shoulder room and legroom here to squeeze a third person in the center comfortably. So a lot of flexibility here out of the Tiguan for 2026. With the R-Line, you are not going to have heated outboard seats, no 3-zone climate control, but you are going to find 2 center mounted air vents, 2 USB-C inputs. Then to round out the second row seating area, you are going to receive a center armrest with 2 cup holders. Then returning to the rear fascia to take a look at the cargo area for the 2026 R-Line Black, you are going to receive a power liftgate, and inside, behind the second row seats, Volkswagen claims you're going to receive right around 33.8 cubic feet of room. Now, if this was 2025 for the model year, it would be 26.5. How we got an extra 7 cubic feet from one model year to the next, I have no idea. But at 33.8, that would be in line with a Subaru Forester, still less than a Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, and Kia Sportage. So it's not the most practical in this market, but it's definitely better than, say, a Volkswagen GTI or a Golf R if you are looking to upgrade to a more family-friendly crossover in this class. Now, you are going to have some cubbies here on both sides of the cargo area for some smaller items, maybe a couple water bottles, car detail equipment, or maybe even a first aid kit. And beneath the floor mat, you are going to find a spare tire, so if you encounter a flat on those road trips or travels, you can fix that and be back on the road. Then when you lower the second row seats, you're looking at right around 70 cubic feet of room, which would fall right in line with a lot of vehicles in this class. So if you're just looking for a point A to point B vehicle that's also somewhat fun, this is going to be the way to go here. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video for the 2026 Volkswagen Tiguan SE R-Line Black. If you did, please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys next time.